how animals mark their grid and restore the grid is by one bird sitting in the middle and hundreds of them, 50 of them, 60 of them swimming in a circle. That means they're resetting the grid. Now, you all know that the 5G has messed up the grid. And what happened in December 21st, a meteor fell in Lake Allegan, AN, the Archivon, so it all is connected to that grid system. And we had smoothbirds from Asia. We had northern Canadian geese, our snow geese. We had birds from many different areas. That is because the grid got mixed up. So what we can do as a group with these medicine wheels, and Brenda and I are going to be talking about it tomorrow, what we can do with these medicine wheels is we can put them on our property and we can start straightening out the grid with the Holy Grail Vortex. Does that make sense to you people? And that's what we need to do. And so we have that information. I'm going to ask Steve to show you the beginning of my talk at the ASD. I talked at the ASD every year. In 2013, what we did at the ASD was we changed. You talked about the earth being tipped and tilted. Gail and I went to the ASD. We had about 100 people in the auditorium. We moved the first crop circle of the year, which was a compass, over Stonehenge on the computer. Then we did the Great Pyramid over Stonehenge. We connected all the pyramids up to that crop circle. And we have been balancing and controlling the tip and tilt of the earth. Now, I didn't tell you that, but Carl Franklin told you that Nibiru is going to change the tip and tilt of the earth. We have been protecting that as a group. Now, when we dropped the crop circle up in Rosman Park in Allegan, for months we were chased by the police. You don't drop an energy field in the middle of a city like Allegan and expect it to go unnoticed, because that made a pillar of light all the way from the ionosphere to the earth motor. So you people, by doing the Holy Grail Vortex, have actually been working with us and doing a lot that it's now time for you to realize what you're doing and how to do it better. Okay? Hi to everyone. I'm Mary Hardy, and in 1975 we built a orgone pyramid. Orgone energy is the life force energy of the planet. And as a pyramid, there are thousands of pyramids all the way around the world. I've written a book called Pyramid Energy, The Philosophy of God, the Science of Man. It was published in 1986, and I've sold over 17 or 18,000 copies of it. Using crop circles and vortex generators to move energy on the planet. Crop circles appear all over the earth. They are vortex generators that deal with balancing the frequency of an area. Crop circles heal the planet. It is important to understand how to use them and generate a higher frequency on the planet. As dowsers, we can create a vibrational frequency that will use vortexes to heal the planet. In 2013, we used one of the crop circles to change the frequency of the tip and tilt of the earth. So when all of this strangeness, like 5G, came in, it wouldn't attack people as much as it has. It would help them. I'm going to show you how the Native Americans use medicine wheels, which are similar to crop circles. I'm going to talk to you about that first. This is the medicine wheel at the Little Bighorn Mountain, about 50 miles from Yellowstone. The Native Americans have been able to use these light pillars generated by these vortex generators. Just visualize flushing a toilet and creating that vortex. These objects like pyramids, medicine wheels, and crop circles generate that vortex. This vortex is a clockwise vortex, and being clockwise, it takes the energy up into the ionosphere. Nobody knows who put this medicine wheel here, but this medicine wheel is connected to the caldera, or the volcanic action under Yellowstone. And one morning when I got up to do my prayer work, suddenly Sitting Bull was sitting in my yard. And I asked him why he was there, and he simply said to me, "I'm here to save the sacred land of Yellowstone." In other words, what this medicine wheel was doing was pulling the energy out from under Yellowstone, sending it up through the center of this. There were Native Americans dancing in a clockwise. Why were they dancing clockwise? Because clockwise, a high pressure in the weather system takes the energy from down under up. If you're going to use earth engineering, you've got to understand the directions. A clockwise direction takes energy up. A counterclockwise direction takes energy down. So if the Indians were dancing in a counterclockwise vortex, they would be putting the energy down from the ionosphere through this medicine wheel. But most medicine wheels are naturally offshoots, and they are only placed if you dowse with your pendulum in a clockwise energy pattern coming out of the earth. So this is a slowly turning clockwise energy pattern. Sitting Bull had many dancing Indians around him. In other words, on our property we have a pyramid, an obelisk, a medicine wheel. So what was happening as Sitting Bull was sitting there with his dancing ghost dancers, he was pulling the energy out from under Yellowstone, up through this medicine wheel, and over to my yard in a dancing clockwise matter. They were dissipating that through the Great Lakes area. That is how Native Americans move energy. They have stopped tornadoes with this. They have lessened hurricanes, and you can even change the frequency so that you can heal yourself or take negative frequencies away. So this bighorn medicine wheel, I want you people to understand how the natives use it. Crop circles are important in healing Mother Earth. In the left-hand corner was the one I used in 2013. It is a compass. It was the first crop circle the year of 2013. And when I was at the convention, it appeared just a couple days before I traveled to the convention. And guess what, people? When I tried to get on the airplane, my ticket was canceled because they knew what I intended to do. I intended to put this crop circle over Stonehenge. Now remember, Stonehenge is a chalk field about 90 miles in radius. So anything that appears on the plains of Salisbury, anything that appears there, you can put that on Stonehenge and broadcast the frequency of tipping and tilting the whole grid. So that is how crop circles work. It's very similar to how the Native Americans use medicine wheels. The second crop circle here appeared just yesterday. It was celebrating the solar eclipse because that's very important. It happened at 10 o'clock yesterday. You can place these crop circles on top of Stonehenge, and you can go forward and backward in time. So if you want to take this crop circle, place it on Stonehenge, you actually can use your pendulum in any way you want to heal yourself from the solar frequency. This crop circle is very important. It is a pinwheel clock winding down the time of ET watch in the skies. Well, I use it for a different purpose. I use it because it can be used to neutralize and change the frequency of 5G energy. And that is why I want you to start using it the way the Native Americans used it in their dancing around a medicine wheel. This is slowly turning clockwise. Clockwise is taking the energy from Mother Earth up to the whole ionosphere and putting this crop circle over Stonehenge. That allows this slowly turning crop circle to pull the energy from the earth all the way up to the ionosphere. And with the prayer of the Holy Grail Vortex, which I'll teach you a little later, you can actually start to neutralize and change the frequency of all the satellites and all the 5G towers just by doing the prayer. We are living on a planet of free will, and they cannot interfere with your prayer work. They can interfere if you developed a device that would do this. They can interfere with it, but they cannot interfere with when you do prayer work. So the Holy Grail Vortex, which we do, and I will repeat it real quick. From the point of light within the mind of God, we take the third eye and bring our intention down from the sky all the way to Mother Earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, we take our heart chakra and change the frequency to the heartfelt love. That's a counterclockwise vortex, taking it all the way down to the center of the earth. From the center where the will of God is known, now the will of God is to give us freedom, keep our free will, and not allow us to be horrified by the virus of 5G is creating. And from the center, which is called the race of man, you can send that out through the whole grid. There's nothing more powerful than the earth motor itself. And a lot of people have to realize that the earth is a slowly turning motor. It's more powerful than any of the 5G towers or any of the 5G satellites that they put up there. So we have a very powerful tool in correcting the frequency within the 5G field with these crop circles. This crop circle energetically is connected to the three main pyramids on the Giza Strip. The little pyramid in front, there are three types of pyramid. The first pyramid is Mycerinus, which is a sound pyramid. The second pyramid is Khafre, which is a hollow pyramid. And the third pyramid is Cheops, which is built just like our orgone pyramid, a layer of electric or dielectric. Cheops itself is a layer of stone, sand. And if you're going to make an orgone blanket, you layer it with wool, cotton. It's the layering that makes the orgone energy. This is the crop circle, and it is a star octagon in a clockwise move. The 135-degree frequency is the frequency of the hollow pyramid, and is represented 8 times in the pyramid as it spins. So you're representing the frequency of the hollow pyramid. This is angles of Khafre represent at 8 times. The energy of Khafre is generated to move the energy from a solid pyramid to a hollow pyramid. Or you could have an upshoot pyramid and a downshoot pyramid. Cheops is the upshoot pyramid. Khafre is the downshoot pyramid. So you have to have both directions if you're going to move energy. You can see here that by the way this pyramid is built, it has 8 sides. It's an octagon. It generates the frequency of the heart, and it is multi-layered of stone and sand, so that it creates the life force energy. When we put up our pyramid in 1975, we incorporated an orgone covering on ours, which immediately connected to Cheops, which broadcasted the life force energy of these pyramids all over the world.
The trip that Mary was talking about is that I've read many stories about Mary taking her trips and the marvelous things that she has discovered. And since we're going to get really close to supper time, I'm going to read you and show you what we did on this trip. Mary and Dixie came by the house to get Mel and I on May the 9th. And we all went on an adventure to help the earth and humanity to work together for love and living here on earth. I have heard many trips like this that Mary has taken with others, and the powerful changes that took place because she let the Creator guide her and others to do the loving work. So this will be my first time doing this, and the excitement that followed us everywhere we went, and the people we talked to was this side of amazing. Each place we stopped, we did the Holy Grail Vortex, asking the sisters and the brothers of the Emerald Fire, the Knights Templars, ancestors, and many more to join us as the loving energy here and afar, including the ETs on Earth and out in the atmosphere. We connected each site to the last until we all fully came full circle in our adventure. The following is a list of places we went, put Orgone Pyramid that Virginia Bowman gave us to place at each location. It was an honor for me to be a part of this amazing journey. The first time we did the Holy Grail Vortex was in a place called Nauvoo, Illinois. That was the temple of Jehovah Witnesses back about 1800, late early 1900s. They put a big temple there, and the people of Carthage burned it to the ground. So we went there, and that particular time of the year that they were there, the eagles were flying. And so Mary said, "Stop." So when we stopped, there were 2 eagles setting out on debris out in the river, big, tall ones. And she says, "We've got to do the Holy Grail Vortex right now." So, of course, we did. It was amazing because the more we said the Holy Grail Vortex, the more the wings of the eagles spread. So it was, and I didn't have my camera at the time because I was wrapped up in the energy and the love that was being showed. So it was really pretty cool. Then we went on the first day, on the 9th, we went to Cahokia Mounds near St. Louis, where we stood on Monk's Mounds, then Woodhenge, asking for the spirit help to activate the spirit of the natives that once lived there, for them to join us in helping the earth to shift the energy so that the birds, the bees, the insects, and world migrational paths could be found for a safe journey for all animal life. Using the Holy Grail Vortex and connecting with the Woodhenge at Salisbury Plains in Europe, with the Woodhenge at Cahokia, we were able to feel the strength and power of the Holy Grail Vortex working. This is also Cahokia. We're able to feel the strength and power of the Holy Grail Vortex. You help, and we ask for you each time we connected. And what I mean by connecting is we took the Holy Grail Vortex from Nauvoo, and we went over to the Indian Mound at Cahokia, and we connected those 2 mounds to help the energy of the earth in the grid. From Cahokia, we stopped in a small town in Missouri to visit a local sister of the Emerald Fire, leaving organs with her. And she will place those where she is led to place them, and we will also connect our path with hers. The second stop was at Quinter, Kansas, as Castle Rock, to connect it with our work. It was a C, in case you didn't know it, it was a C at one time, just in case you ever want to go there. Make sure you have a 4x4 car or, tow truck or something, because we went up there and got pretty scared. We didn't know we weren't supposed to go that high. Anyway, the third stop was, and we did the Oregon Trail there. We did Orgonauts there, and we placed them. So this is a picture. I'll have the book. The one up here in this corner is the Cahokia Mounds Stonehenge. The one over here is the mound of the original, and there was a huge thousands and thousands of residents that were built there on the mound. And this is a closer picture here, and this is the temple mound that was set there. I'll have these in the book if you want to look at them later. The one that was at the, this is Castle Rock. And this was really a beautiful, very powerful place. And once the vortexes were connected, it was even more so. It was like they were so happy to be there. They were really thankful that we were able to connect. Now we're at the 4th stop. Let's From there, the third stop was the Colorado Springs. We spent time at the Garden of the Gods. We asked for those who have or will receive the vaccine for the COVID-19 to be neutralized and that the side effects dissipate by surrounding all cells with love, with no harm to anyone. This is a planet of free will, and we will all need to do our part every day with the Holy Grail Vortex and any other prayer that comes to you from the Master of your own lives. Together we can and must make a difference, because the harder the other side works, let us inspire ourselves to send the energy of love outward. And that is this one here. We put organs there. We said a Holy Grail Vortex, and enjoyed the energy that was sent forth with those. And we had connected it again from the one before. The fourth stop is Masco, Colorado, the Great Sand Dunes National Park. It was amazing to see the sand dunes next to the snow-topped mountain range, remembering that at one time all of this was underwater. And that was an amazing trip about some of these mounds, is because if you think about when the Ice Age and the shifting of the earth, all of that stuff became above water. And I really think it was so that in our day and time that we could enjoy what is there now. With the wind blowing and many people walking around, it felt wonderful to be there and pray. So we did, still connecting to all the places we had just came from. The fifth place we stopped was Stonecrest in Colorado. We checked into our VB house called the Rainbow Inn, coincidental, settled in and rested until the following day. We then drove to Ascension Rock, and we did the Holy Grail Vortex, felt the loving energy that rode down the mountainside. From there we went to a friend's house, and her name was Ida, and she welcomed us in. We were Zoomed with Maya and learned about the Ark of On. Also, there were two gentlemen, both were named Michael, which was like cool. One of the Michaels was Dune, invited us to follow him to some property they were wanting to purchase. There are a few people who were wanting to put medicine wheels, pyramids on that land to help the earth and humanity. We all said the Holy Grail Vortex to honor them and the land, hoping that they'll get it. And we also went to a private, another place where public people can go, and it was called iHarmony Inspirational Rock Garden, with a temple path statue, prayers, medicine wheels, copper pyramids, labyrinths. It was all truly right there, and you can go and park your car and spend the whole day there being in bewilderment and honor. It was just amazing.
Michael took us to this property. Now, you know, Shirley MacLaine wanted to build a pyramid in Crestone, and it didn't work out. Norman Milanovich wanted to build a pyramid in Crestone, and it didn't work out. Michael and his crew want to build a pyramid in Crestone. That is one of the reasons why he came here, is to look over our pyramids. So if he builds a pyramid in Crestone, it will really connect it up with the Ark. These trips that we take have an awful lot of meaning, and it's great. We are a family that are working together to create this grid, and through love and light. Thank you.
I feel and have learned over the time that this picture here is where we had the sand dunes, and what was really cool is the sand come down off the top of the mountains and made sand dunes. So you have to walk across this river, which was like 2 inches thick, and they called it a river. We wouldn't here, but you had to walk across it and then walk up the dunes to the top of the mountain, which was really cool. And if I'd have been 100 years younger, I'd have done it. But that didn't happen. What I've also learned about connecting each one of these vortexes, each one of these medicine wheels that we presented from one place to the other, is that you yourself could put one up and connect with those also. And we will begin to weave the net that guards us from 5G. From what man made, we can make with love. The seventh place we stopped was Echo Springs, Arkansas. This was amazing because we weren't even supposed to be on this road. We stayed with Roz and France for a few days. We did plan that part. And we went to Passionate's Place Statue of Jesus. Did a Holy Grail Vortex there. And let's see. We had a friend there that Mel and I remembered. Her name was Kimberly Clark, and we had visited with her before. And she was really an awesome woman. She had land, she had friends, and she had this property up on top of this mountain that she didn't even know she had. And it had 5 pyramids that Native Americans had made. Oh, I'm sorry, 5 medicine wheels. Mary's there. And it had that Native Americans had made way back hundreds of years ago. And the only way she found it was by energy. She tuned in, and her and, was it somebody else, a friend of hers, that she knew, they tuned in and found them. So we went up there and put some argons up there and connected the medicine wheel.
When the white man moved into Eureka Springs, the Indians moved out. But they put up these medicine wheels to protect the property. And they were locked away so nobody could get to them. And she was there to protect those medicine wheels. So that was very interesting. And this is what we saw. So we activated them with the Holy Grail Vortex. And that's what we do.
She invited us to go to the top of the mountain to see the 5 medicine wheels that had been there. The energy there was so soft and powerful. I felt like it was floating and just enjoying the moment. We did prayer work with everything and everyone. We asked permission at every moment, joined the ancestors of all the nations as we prayed. And it was amazing because up in the sky as we were doing this, I could see actually the Native Americans dancing around all 5 pyramids in their ceremonial gowns. Let's see. We got back on the road and we headed home. And as we looked at some other places and walked down some paths, we ended up at Laura, Missouri, where a national shrine of Mother Mary of the church was standing. And it was amazing to think that we would have that had been closed other than part of the journey coming home. We had a nice meal with Mary Mac and headed home. Sure.
We got on the wrong road. And we kept on seeing these signs. National Shrine of Mary Magdalene. National Shrine of Mary Magdalene. So we went by it, and I said, oh my God, we got on the wrong road. We wanted to go there. So please turn around. And so we went back. And here was this huge statue of Mary Magdalene spinning. So when Dixie and everybody got out of the car, she was facing us. When we got around to look at her again, her back was to us. And we thought, oh my God, how did that happen? But then she was on a pedestal spinning in a clockwise manner.
Mary wanted to share that because it freaked her shorts. I mean, you get out of the car and there she is, tall as life, staring at you. You shut the door, you walk around front, and her back's turned. You're going, okay, did anybody else see that? Wanted to make sure if I was crazy, so was everybody else. Okay, let's see here. I lost my place. Pardon me? Well, that thank you. I kind of got off Celt here, but anyway, I'm going to go on my own imagination. This picture here in the corner is where the 5 medicine wheels were in Arkansas, where we were. And so it's a really powerful place, and if you go and look her up, I'm sure she'll take you on the grand tour, but hang on, because it's straight up and straight down. And nobody told me the rules about how to drive up a mountain. So it was a little hairy. The last place we went was, Glassford. But we also stopped by to see a very dear friend of ours who made her transition, which was Pam Lindwell. And we took a picture of the tree where she's at, which I thought was very neat. Each and every time we went somewhere, we made sure that the last place we left was connected to the first place we were at. We even went to a UFO place where everybody dropped their souvenirs to make sure that the UFOs knew that we were here. And the one thing I wanted to share, Mary had made a map one time of how to move the pyramids from one place to the other. As life and light workers and spirit workers and believers, it only takes the power of your thought. This group can move the biggest medicine wheel or the smallest nano medicine wheel any place on the planet Earth that needs our help.
What happened is in 1980, we put up an obelisk in Sedona. Now, what happened is Russia built a weather machine, and if you want to look at the history of that and how to move energy, Weather Warfare. How many have seen that movie, Weather Warfare? It's on the YouTube. What happened is Russia built a huge device so that they could block the energy so they could grow crops like we grow in our steppe area. Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa. They wanted to change the high and low pressures so they could do that. So they built these big devices. Now, Kenneth wrote about this in 1970, and Steve has made a movie called Weather Warfare. That put a line from Canada all the way down to all the way down to the Falkland Islands. How many of you lived in this area in 96, 97, 98, 99? You remember the snowstorms? But for 96, 97, 98, and 99, we had snowstorms that had 25-foot snows. Out here on A37, we had tunnels. They had to bring front-end loaders in, put the snow up, and we had one-lane tunnels going down our road. That was because of the Russian warfare. They built it not to destroy the weather. They built it so they could have crops like we have in the Midwest. And in 1947, we've signed the first weather warfare treaty among all the nations that they would not design weather warfare machines against each other because of what they did. So if you look at what the Temple of Sakkara has done, without you guys realizing it, we have corrected a lot of the mistakes. And that has been our job right along. Okay? Some of them weren't mistakes. The New World Order in 1995, in the year 2000, they wanted to stop the vortex of the Earth and control the Earth motor. Okay?
One more real quick piece of information. I made these crop circles. I put plastic on them. And when I say the Holy Grail Vortex, a lot of times I lay these on the ground because that's the one I want to use. Because I'm a picture person, I see it. And if I see it, I can make it better or stronger in my head. That's my belief system, right or wrong or indifferent. And if you want to look at this, you may. Did you? Mel wants to say something. And then we got a break for supper.
When we got home from Mary and Dixie went to Allegan, and Pat and I went back to Quincy. And when we got home, about 5 or 6 hours later, I was sitting there on the couch, and all of a sudden I heard this kaboom. And it wasn't a physical kaboom. I was in a meditative state. So I said, okay, what's this about? So imagine fireworks going up in the sky and how they come down. So I saw that over Allegan. And then the next thing I know, I see it over Quincy. And then I see it over Cahokia Mounds. And then I see it over Boonville. And these explosions went off at every place we went along that trail all the way back to Allegan. And basically what I was told is we created a Skyworks grid. Not only were we working on the Earth grid, we created what is considered a Skyworks grid. Every one of those places connected themselves to every one of the other places. So they're not in a linear line, they're in a Skyworks, like fireworks. Big umbrellas over the whole section, all at once. It was pretty cool.